All right, we're on to lesson 53, which is on multiplying rates, and we're going to look at it a couple of different ways. So we're just going to jump right in, and multiplying rates would be we're converting, we're trying to figure out like how far you can travel in an hour, a few minutes, or like figuring out how much something is per ounce. So those types of things. We're kind of dividing stuff up. So our first problem is that we are traveling somewhere at 50 miles an hour, and they want to know how far we would travel in 4 hours. So we know that we're going 50 miles an hour, and we've been driving for 4 hours. How far would we actually be in mileage? So in order to set that up, we know where our distance is 4 hours, or sorry, the time is 4 hours, and we're going 50 miles an hour. So in 1 hour, we would travel 50 miles. So it's going to be 4 hours times 50 miles over 1 hour. Because we know the total that they want to know. We want to know how far we're going in 4 hours. We know that we're going 50 miles in 1 hour. So our hours are going to cancel themselves out. So it's going to be 4 times 50 miles, which is 200 miles, which is the final answer. So in 4 hours, we should have gone 200 miles, because in 1 hour, we've gone 50. All right, so then knowing we're still going 50 miles an hour, they want to know how long it would take us to go 300 miles. So we know it takes 4 hours to go 200 miles, but how many hours does it take to go 300 miles? So again, we're trying to figure out how far or how long it's going to take for 300 miles. So we write that down. We have 300 miles. And we know that we're going 50 miles an hour. So we're going 50 miles in 1 hour. So we're now actually going to divide that, because we're trying to figure out how many hours we're going. And remember, with dividing fractions, we flip the second. So it's actually going to be 300 miles times 1 hour over 50 miles. So our miles cancel out. And we're going to divide 300 into 50, and we'll get 6. And it's going to be 6 hours. So in 6 hours, we should have gone 300 miles, because we know that in 1 hour, again, we've gone 50 miles. So we put what we know over what we're trying to find out. All right, now we're going to do 2 more. All right. So for this one, we know that 8 ounces of something cost 40 cents. And so this can be written in 2 different ways. So it can either be written as 8 over 40, so 8 ounces over 40 cents. Or 40 cents over 8 ounces. So 8 ounces of something costs 40 cents can either be written as 8 ounces over 40 cents or 40 cents over 8 ounces. All right, so then in our first problem, they want to know how much it would cost of 32 ounces, or for 32 ounces. So instead of having just only 8 ounces of that thing, we're going to have 32 ounces. So how much is that going to cost? So we can go ahead and set it up. So we know that we have 32 ounces, and we know that there are 40 cents per 8 ounce. So we're going to use this equation. So our 40 cents over 8 ounces. And our ounces are going to cancel themselves out. So we'll do 32 times 40 is 1280. So 1,280, and that's going to be cents over 8. So we had 32 ounces. We want to know how much 32 ounces is going to be instead of 8. So we put 40 over 8. Ounces canceled out. So 32 times 40 is 1280. When we move the 8 over, so it's 1280 divided by 8 cents. So if we do 1280 and divide that by 8, we get 160 cents. And it's money, so that's actually $1.60, which is our final answer. So 8 ounces of something costs 40 cents. 32 ounces of that same thing is $1.60. All right, and so then the second part is we want to know how many ounces we can get for $1.20. So we know for 40 cents we can get 8 ounces. For $1.60 we can get 32 ounces, but how many ounces can we get for $1.20? So we have 120 cents, and we know that we can get 8 ounces for 40 cents, so we're going to use that equation. So we'll put 8 ounces over 40 cents. So then our cents cancel themselves out. So we're going to multiply 120 times 8 to get 960 over 40. Cents are gone, so this is ounces. So we have 960 over 40 ounces. We divide 960 by 40, and that's going to give us 24 ounces. So we can get 24 ounces for $1.20. All right, so we started, they told us that 8 ounces of something costs 40 cents. We need to figure out the two ways that can be written. We have 8 ounces over 40 cents, or 40 cents into 8 ounces. First, they want to know how much it would cost for 32 ounces. So we know they're looking for 32 ounces. 40 cents is into 8 ounces. So we use this equation. So we can get rid of the ounces. And we have 1,280 over 8 cents because our ounces are gone. We just multiplied 32 and 40. Then we divide 1280 into 8 to get 160 cents because that still moves. Since it's money, it's actually $1.60. And then the second one we have, they want to know how many ounces we can get for $1.20. So we know that they're looking for 120 cents to figure out how many ounces we can get. So we're going to use ounces over cents so we can cancel out the cents. We multiply 120 times 8, divide that by our 40 to get 24 ounces. We're going to try one more. All right. So on this one, all they're telling us is that we're traveling somewhere at 60 miles an hour. So that can still be written in two different ways, though. So the forms that it can be written in is 60 miles over 1 hour, because we're going 60 miles per per hour, or 1 hour over 60 miles. Because we know that we went 1 hour. It took us 1 hour, sorry, to go 60 miles. All right, so the first part is that they're telling us that we've been driving for 5 hours. So basically, they want to know how far we've gone since we've been driving for 5 hours. All right, so we have what we're looking for is 5 hours. And we're trying to figure out how far we are going. So we have our distance, which is miles. So we'll put 60 miles over 1 hour to cancel out the time because we're looking for the distance. So our hours cancel out. So it will be 5 times 60, which is 300. And then we have miles left. So in 5 hours, we would have gone 300 miles. All right. And then we're going to do the opposite. So say that they told us that we've traveled 300 miles. They want to know how long it took us to get that far. So we are looking for how long it's going to take, or we're going 300 miles. All right, so we've gone 1 hour over 60 miles. So we have 300. We're going to use 1 hour over 60 because we're trying to figure out how much time it's taking. So our miles cancel out. So we're dividing 300 into 60, and we will get 5 hours. All right, so just to recap, we take the information that we're looking for, put it at the front of our equation. And then we take what we want to know and put that over whatever equal measurement is. So we're looking for 5 hours, and we know that it's 60 miles in 1 hour. So we use this equation instead of this equation because we're trying to cancel out our hours. And in this one, we're trying to cancel out our miles. So our time has to go over miles so that miles cancels out here. And on this one, our miles has to go over our time so that our time cancels out because we're looking for miles. And this one, we're looking for time. Right? And then that's our multiplying rates.